Black mothers are hit hardest when it comes to inflation. And in honor of Mother's Day, which is when this video will come out, I want to talk about it because when we talk about inflation, a lot of times we talk about it in the sense of how it affects everyone. But like anything else, there are people who are going to be affected more. Okay, so I'm going to go over that topic today. But before I do, welcome to Black to Bitcoin, where I explore the wealth gap, generational wealth for Black people, and how Bitcoin can help with that. So if you are interested in topics about the Black American experience, make sure you subscribe to the channel and also give this video a like and share it with anyone who would benefit. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just get straight to the points that I have. Per usual, I have my notes here. I'm not going to lie, this video is really hard for me, not because of the topic, but because for some reason I'm having a really hard time with my list and articulating it. So I will be using the list very thoroughly. I'm sorry, y'all. I will be looking down a lot, okay? I'll make some eye contact with you sometimes, though, I promise. Okay, the first one is that there is no room for error. And this has a lot to do with the wealth gap, okay? Because the less savings that you have, the more pressure you have. And because Black mothers are not paid the way they are supposed to be paid, and let me just backtrack. This applies to Black women in general, okay? So Black women in general don't get paid enough, but because Black mothers have the stress of having children, of course it makes it worse, okay? I think that's mostly what I have for that point. Okay, no, I do also have that there's more reliance on work. And what I was thinking mostly with this is that there's no room to lose your job as much as with other people. Losing your job sucks no matter who you are. But because you're getting paid less as a Black woman, and you have children, you are in the worst case scenario. Okay? So I have that. The next one is unstable work and wage pressure. And what I mean by that is that Black women are lower paid. I already said that. But there's also a different payment that Black mothers make, and that is stress and burnout. Okay, so all of it, of course, is going to stem from not making enough money. But the problem is that you're not making the money. You do have the pressure of taking care of children, but a lot of times Black mothers are expected to spend more time at home than white mothers or with less help. And when that happens, it means that you have to try to juggle so many things that you start feeling burnout, stress, even maybe depression, because you have so many things on your plate. And, you just feel like there's just an ongoing circle all the time, and you don't have that time to yourself. Okay? The next one is that geography is not neutral. And for that, I have that a lot of Black mothers are in exposed positioning where it's not ideal. So living in neighborhoods that they don't have opportunities. So I have mentioned this in other videos, but how some neighborhoods, they just don't have the opportunities for people to take advantage of. But a lot of this just has to deal with higher rent and just being in situations where most other races and most other mothers don't have to deal with. So there's just more of that financial pressure and having to be able to afford having children. All right, the next one is something that affects us a lot as Black women and Black mothers, and that is single motherhood. Okay? Having to rely on one income to take care of children is obviously a strain. And while there are single mothers in all races, it is more prevalent in our race percentage-wise. And it starts going back to, well, the white mother, she's making a little bit more if she is working, right? Well, not if she's working. Look, if you're a single mom, you are working, but the white mother is probably making more than the black mother. So that, in a sense, makes the topic relevant. So the black mom is suffering more, okay? The last one that I have is slower progress. And this is applied to both personal as well as generational progress, okay? So with the personal, of course, if you aren't making the amount of money that you need, you will be using all your money on needs and not being able to do anything else. So it's already hard to save money. So how are you going to invest in an asset or, take part in anything else that might be wealth building? And it doesn't even have to be assets. It could be just being in the right room with the right people, things like that. Okay? Now on the bigger side, well, in my opinion, the bigger theme, I guess I should say, and the point that I always like to make with this is that on the generational wealth level, what this does is having a black mother have to work more. It means that she gets to spend less time with her family. Okay? So if you are pressured to work more than someone else, and this of course would apply to with the whole household and the father, if there's, it's a unit and not a single motherhood, then of course not having the extra money and not having the time to, I'm trying to articulate this right. What I'm basically saying is both parents or the single mother will have less time with their children is the main point that I am making. And in that, you are automatically not able to instill anything into your kids. Not anything, but it takes away time to be able to build some kind of money, insight, some kind of education to your children. And then it also is a thing where they see what's happening, right? So it has a long-term effect on the black family and how generations will have to deal with it in the future, okay? That one was rough. I hope that I did that one justice because I was all over the place with that point, but basically slow progress because you don't have as much time with your children, okay? And education is the main way that people can pass down, systems and they all said it right. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Systems and all that good stuff. Okay? So those are the ways. I'm going to just say just the actual titles, okay? So no room for error, unstable work and work pressure, geography is not neutral, single motherhood strain, and slow progress, okay? I'm not re-recording this. I feel like it's another one of my videos where I'm all over the place, but 'tis what it is. Life is life. I'm putting this video out. Okay, now let's talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not a direct fix for this stuff, okay? I like to say that in every video. It is a tool to dig out of being in these systems, okay? So in this particular situation where I'm talking about black mothers, I'm talking so much about this money and all this budgeting. You don't have the means with regular dollars to keep up with inflation, okay? The US dollar is losing its value every single minute, and you want to have something that will be building in value, and that is what Bitcoin is. So for any mother, single, or in a family unit, if you are a black mother, you should really consider Bitcoin because it is a way to store your wealth. And even more than that, it is one that you can do with money pressure. You can start Bitcoin with $1, okay? Other assets are a lot more expensive, So Bitcoin is a huge opportunity for us as a community and Black mothers to be able to build wealth. So that is my Bitcoin tie into this. All right, so that's all I have. I think oh yeah, the one thing I do have is that, oh yeah, this is a thing. Bitcoin can't be taken. Okay, so with all this stress, money stress, and not being paid the same amount of money, I just want to always remind people that the government can take your money at any time. They can legally seize your money at any time. They can do whatever, okay? Because you don't really own your money when you're dealing with banks. Bitcoin, you are the only one that can control that money. So at least you know that if you are struggling, that money is at least your money and you will have access to it forever. And that obviously ties into generational wealth, because if you lose your money, clearly your children aren't going to get that money. So I did have that point, and I cannot forget that point because that is one of the main points. So yeah, that's it. Hopefully you got some insight on this video. I do want to say thank you to all the mothers out there holding it down, whether you're a single one, whether you have a family, like a husband or a partner or whatever. I commend you. I don't have kids, so I'm not able to identify with the work that it takes, but I admire you so much, and I just want to say thank you for that. All right, so other than that, have a great day. Keep stacking those coins, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.